Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie, for those who don't know me, and we're going to be... Child. I just woke up and I just got out the shower, so I'm so sorry. I'm a little discombobulated right now, but we're going to be reviewing Married at First Sight, the After Party, episode 4, okay? Normally, I don't watch this because I just feel like everything should be explained on the show, but I understand the point of it. It did give more insight. It's kind of like a mini reunion, so I wasn't mad at it. Let me know if you guys want me to do the after show so we can do the actual reviews for the regular episode, and then maybe Thursdays I'll do the after show. Let me know how you feel about that. Before we get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let's talk about these people. So I'm going to talk about the Alyssa situation first, and then the Ola and Lindsay situation after. So if you don't know about the show, Keisha Napoleon is the host of the after show. It used to be called Unfiltered, and it was run by Jamie Otis. They've since swapped her out for Keisha and changed the name altogether. So Keisha is asking Alyssa different questions, just trying to get a better understanding of where her mind was at the day of the wedding. And she doesn't answer her direct question.
And you keep talking in generalizations, but that's not helping us understand.
I think one of the biggest issues I had in that moment was when his friends told me that he can be like condescending and talk down and I guess not be like respectful of other people's thoughts and feelings.
But the reason I keep trying to drill down is because the reasons why I keep being on hearsay versus anything that he actually did to you.
Alyssa's trying to be coy, if you ask me. Also, whoever did her makeup really well. They did it really, really well. It was really good. But she's not being forthright with her answers because everybody knows, everybody could tell that the discourse that happened in their relationship solely had to do with the fact that she was not attracted to him. And from that moment on, any other reason to back up why it's not working, she was gonna grasp at it whether it made sense or not. So there's even a moment at the end where Ola was like, that's BS. You didn't like him.
She got married. She wasn't attracted to him. The fact that you had his friends, his corny ass friends, come over and say some corny to you, you indulged in it because it was a leeway to get out.
As Keisha's trying to, and I have to commend Keisha, she's really good at this, you know? She was asking questions that were very probing, very challenging, but in a demeanor that was kind and warm. So if you felt away, it definitely was because you felt away, not because she was antagonizing you. You know what I mean? But Keisha was saying, so as you're speaking, as I'm hearing you recount the situation, it's sounding like the problems that you had were all based on a hearsay and not necessarily what Chris did to you. That's what is making me upset about Alyssa. Everybody has negative traits. Everybody has negative characteristics. And do I still stand by the fact that the friends did Chris dirty? Absolutely. Could they be right? Possibly. We don't know. But you always want to give a balance when you're portraying somebody to a stranger. You know what I mean? So saying that he's condescending, or he can come across as condescending, saying that he's basically a mansplainer, is not really going to go well with somebody who's trying to pursue them romantically, right? However, I think the intention, I'm going to superimpose my intention on what I thought their intention was, because they might have just been trying to sink the boat. Who knows? But I think the intention was to say, when you see this, don't think it's coming with ill intent. He just has this issue where he needs to grow, or he has an issue with being perceived negatively when that's not how he's trying to be perceived. You know what I mean? So they're saying he likes to even sometimes when I say, you know what I mean, people think that's me being condescending. See? But they were basically saying, don't take these things and think the worst when that's not how he's trying to come off. But he does have a tendency of having that impression on people. Intention was there by the friends. Delivery was not the best. All in all, regardless, I still see Alyssa in the wrong. There's nothing Alyssa could say that makes me feel like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because later on, Keisha is talking about how Alyssa wasn't happy with the fact that Chris went to the family. He didn't go to the family. It was in conversation. And he was recounting the fact that she said they're mismatched, they're better off as friends, that their lives are incompatible. And she was saying, that's confidential. Then why sign up for this show? And Keisha was saying the whole point of the show is to share your memories, is to share the highs and the lows. And if you have a problem with things being shared, then this isn't the process for you. That's number one. Number two, whether or not it was said in confidence, he's going to your family. If he would have went to them and said, oh, everything's great, things are fantastic, that wouldn't have went well either. That's my impression. I'm not quite sure, but I have a feeling that wouldn't have gone well either. And when I think about the friend's response and the mom's response and how they're basically saying, you know, she can be like this, but you're so good for her. Just work on her, give her a chance. They know she's like this. They do. They know she's like this. So I have no sympathy for her. I actually side with Ola when he was saying this is all BS. She is playing it up. Like she had already made up her mind. I agree. And I think I'm going to insert the clip of her walking off.
I was trying to be respectful.
Okay. I guess the viewers are just going to have to watch the show and kind of, you know, form their own observations. You know, I was just really hoping to kind of, you know, give your side of the story.
So I'm going to get
I
up.
hate that you're upset and I hate that you're crying.
I'm walking away from this conversation.
I'm sure we're all in accordance saying that she's just immature and this wasn't the process for her. She did say it was disappointing that I had all these high expectations and my dreams didn't come true. Don't put your trust in strangers to match you with a stranger if you had such high expectations, okay? No sympathy is coming from the audience or your castmates. So moving on to the Ola and Lindsay situation, I will just go through it again, what they showed us on the show, and then say what was exposed on the after show. So on the show, Lindsay attempted to have a conversation with Ola, basically saying, hey, since you know a little bit of Spanish, I would advise that you speak that language because that's the native language of where we are going. Ola's response was, I'm an adult. Do not tell me what to do. Words were exchanged saying like, do you want to fight? We're still unsure whether or not that was in a joking manner or serious. But yeah, they decided to ride to the resort in different charters. And that's where the show ended with, like, that's where they ended the story, right? On the after show, Ola explains that she was making digs at him even prior to the language conversation. She was trying to call him out saying like, oh, you look good, but your shoes are cheap. And she was making comments behind him on the airplane because she was behind him. And a flight attendant even had to go and address Lindsay directly and say, I'm going to need you to pipe down and I'm going to need you to sit down.
We had the flight attendant come out to us almost 2 to 3 times and told Lindsay herself, stop yelling, sit down in your seat.
Put your mask on.
Yeah, put your mask on. Just had the baby here.
Now I know the Karens like to see the word Karen as being derogatory, which it's not, but she was giving very much Karen energy. I don't know where she felt entitled to want to say stuff like this to people who you do not know. Regardless of whether you are right, you don't always need to be right. You don't need to go to somebody and say, this is what you must do, whether or not it is the fact. They are an adult. Let them do what they want to do. If he finds himself in a bind, then he can resort to the little bit of Spanish that he knows. And if he doesn't, there's Google Translate. There's Apple there's so many ways around the situation. The hope is that she would have understood the fact that he's an adult. He's going to do what he needs to do. But as people keep talking in the episode, even Alyssa was chiming in saying that we've learned with Lindsay that she does this. She does like to chirp. She likes to say things under her breath. She likes to say comments that rub people the wrong way. But you just have to ignore it. And over time, it's going to stop. What? You are a grown-ass woman. You are a married woman. and people have to ignore you, actively show you disinterest for you to put yourself in check, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. All the while, Mark wasn't denying what happened. He was there co-signing, saying, yeah, that is kind of how it went.
You don't know me. You don't judge anybody, make any comments. I let that slide. Mark was there.
Yeah.
I let it slide.
Like I said in my review, it is really hard for me to pick a side, mainly because of the two personalities that are in the scenario. But the more I hear it explained, I'm leaning towards believing Ola's explanation of what happened. Apparently, too, there was a moment where coming off the plane, Lindsay was saying, oh, you want to fight? And then Katina was all up in her face. And so that already means that the way Lindsay was trying to explain the story is not how it happened. Because she was saying, Ola was the one who was saying, oh, haha, you want to fight? And then she was like, he was posturing to fight me, when in fact, she was the one yelling at him, do you want to fight? And then Katina was the one who got in her face saying, yo, you don't talk to my husband in that way. It's going to be a long road for Mark. It's going to be a long road for Mark. I'm not going to lie. I did see some spoilers on who decides to stay together on decision day. I don't know whether I should share it or not, because I know people don't like spoilers. But yeah, it's going to be a long road. And I hope that at the end of the day, they are able to put themselves in check and they don't look to their spouse to always be the one rearing them. You're an adult. You're not a child. You don't need to be reared by another person. Be able to assess a situation and say, is this worth my input? And if it is, am I ready to accept the repercussions of my actions? And in fact, Lindsay was not. We're going to see in the next episode that Lindsay does get another altercation with Katina. And at this point, I feel like Lindsay just loves to provoke. Lindsay loves to be in the spotlight. She loves to be the loudest voice in the room. And sometimes that means you're going to have the most criticism, the most tension with people, because people just want to get along. People just want to do their own thing. Your voice doesn't always need to be heard, especially if your opinion is going to be negative. I'm interested to see what's going to go on next week. Because Katina's not having a child. Yeah, again, let me know if you guys want the after show reviews as well. If you do, they will be coming out Thursday around this time. Hopefully. I don't know. Life happens. Okay. Until then, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.